Like, subscribe, share this video, jab the subscribe button, detonate that bell button, do all that good stuff. Dillian Whyte trashes Deontay Wilder for firing Mark Breland. You know, after Mark Breland threw in the towel and saved him from potentially getting knocked out or further on bashed up by Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte trashing Deontay Wilder for doing it. Let's jump into Dillian Whyte's comments. Dillian Whyte said, I think it's the worst mistake he's ever made because Mark Breland is the only person in his team that actually was a boxer and actually was a world champion. He said he was the only person that didn't care about the money or fame. He was getting hit with punches that weren't knocking him out. They were concussing him. Mark Breland knows what it's like because Mark Breland has been in the same position. So those are the words of Dillian Whyte. Obviously, I know what a lot of people are going to say. Dillian Whyte, though, you fired Mark Tibbs. You know, you ended up getting knocked out in devastating fashion by Alexander Povetkin. Now you're here talking about Mark Breland getting fired by Deontay Wilder. They're probably going to say you need to take the log out of your own eye before you try taking the speck out of Deontay Wilder's. Fans will be telling him to sort out his own camp after his devastating knockout, and he should focus on going on to take on, you know, Tyson Fury, going on to take on Povetkin. And yeah, I feel like, you know, for Dillian Whyte, he should have kept Mark Tibbs. If Mark Tibbs was as in, maybe Dillian Whyte didn't view Mark Tibbs as integral to his team as much as we view Mark Tibbs to be, because obviously we can see Dillian Whyte's success with Mark Tibbs. He's not getting knocked out. He's got dropped before. He's not getting knocked out. He got dropped by what's his name, Joseph Parker. He got dropped by, you know, Oscar Rivas. You know, the first time he changed his trainer to, is it Xavier Miller? I think Xavier Miller was in Dillian Whyte's camp before, but obviously wasn't the main trainer. But the first time he gets rid of, you know, Mark Tibbs, he gets knocked out in devastating fashion. So is this hypocrisy from Dillian Whyte talking about Deontay Wilder, you know, made the worst mistake of his career? Did, you know, if Dillian Whyte loses to Povetkin in the rematch, is getting rid of Mark Tibbs, is that the worst, you know, mistake of Dillian Whyte's career? That's a question to be asked to Dillian Whyte if he gets knocked out by Alexander Povetkin again or stopped in, you know, devastating fashion. But be that as it may, if you put Dillian Whyte's case aside, just focusing on Deontay Wilder, will this be or is this the worst mistake of Deontay Wilder's career? You know, we have to wait and see if this trilogy happens. And, you know, they're talking about all of this abandoning trilogy, or whether it's fake news or if it's true, I don't know. But if it's actually true, if the trilogy goes ahead, you know, and Deontay Wilder, you know, goes up there and loses to Tyson Fury again in even more devastating fashion, a lot of people say, you know, that, you know, it didn't help him to get rid of Mark Breland. Obviously, he lost in the rematch, but people be like, at least the person you've got in your camp that was a fighter, was a world champion. At least, you know, wouldn't you want to keep someone like that in your camp? Why does getting rid of him because he threw in the towel? He doesn't want him to throw in the towel, you know, in the third time. But, you know, do you guys actually believe that, you know, getting rid of Mark Breland is going to adversely affect Deontay Wilder? If Deontay Wilder gets in someone else and then somehow he knocks out Tyson Fury in devastating fashion in the trilogy, a lot of people are going to say, oh, he did the right thing. He made the good choice. You know, if he, for example, if he used to get Floyd Mayweather in there, maybe Floyd Sr., and somehow he knocks out Tyson Fury, people will be like, rah, we saw a different Deontay Wilder. He did things we've never seen him do before in a short space of time, and he knocked out Tyson Fury. He'd be like, rah, it was a good move from Wilder. If Wilder goes in there and gets beat again, some people say he should have kept Mark Breland. Some people say, well, we know Deontay Wilder, he got smashed up in the rematch. He got smashed up again. If Deontay Wilder loses to you know, Tyson Fury in the trilogy, I don't think many people attribute that to getting rid of Mark Breland. Most people say that they expected him to lose because he got beaten up in the trilogy, in the rematch. But, you know, Dillian Whyte basically saying that, you know, that this is the worst mistake of Deontay Wilder. And I think what Dillian Whyte is getting at is rather than talking about Mark Breland's impact on Deontay Wilder's boxing, he's mainly talking about Deontay Wilder's well-being. Because, you know, he's talking about here, Deontay Wilder was taking punches, you know, and they weren't knocking. He was getting concussed from shots, you know, and he's talking about, you know, Mark Breland doesn't care about the money or fame. I don't know Mark Breland personally to know whether he doesn't care about the money or fame. If you're a trainer of a fighter like Deontay Wilder, you're gonna care about the money to some extent. So not caring about the money, I don't know Mark Breland. We don't know him. Does he whether he cares about the money or fame? Money, in boxing is a big thing. No one's gonna train nobody, especially a top fighter if the money is not on their mind. But but one thing to say about Mark Breland, he has been with Deontay Wilder from the very beginning, and you know, so is it really money that's the thing? I think he cares about Deontay Wilder throwing in the towel when no one else wanted to throw in the towel. Dillian Whyte saying Wilder was taking shots. Obviously, Wilder was taking a lot of shots. He wasn't getting knocked out by them, but he was visibly getting slow and looking groggy. So I think Mark Breland was looking out for the best interests of Deontay Wilder, and Dillian Whyte kind of getting that if Wilder's in a situation where he's getting hurt again, who's going to be there to really help Deontay Wilder, and save him from his own self, because Wilder's just, talking about he wants to go out on his shield. This is boxing. Can't have guys taking punishment for no reason. If you have no chance of winning the fight, what's the point? Live to fight another day, come back for the trilogy and potentially win in devastating fashion. So drop your comments in the comment section below. What do you think about Dillian Whyte's comments? Talking about Deontay Wilder's made the worst mistake of his career. Dillian Whyte says that he's lost all respect for the American, because for Deontay Wilder to fire someone that basically saved him shows that has Deontay Wilder really learned? Is he using Mark Breland as the excuse for his loss? Maybe he thinks he would have still won. Only God knows if something could have happened. Wilder looked like he could have landed a shot and put Fury out, but I just didn't see it happening. So drop your comments in the comment section below. What do you think about Deontay Wilder? What about Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury, the trilogy? And what do you think about, Dillian Whyte saying that, Deontay Wilder has made the worst mistake of his career? Because if Deontay Wilder goes in there and knocks out Tyson Fury in the trilogy, and after getting in a new trainer, some people would say, wow, he made a good decision. But maybe in future, if Deontay Wilder's in trouble and he hasn't got no one in his corner that really cares for him, really, who's really there to help him, save him from himself? So drop your comments again. Do you think Wilder has a chance of beating Tyson Fury in the trilogy? Do you think, like Wilder says, your king will return? Do you think he can actually return? Drop your comments. Jab that subscribe button. Detonate your right handle like Deontay Wilder on that bell button. Stay tuned for more videos. Cool.